COVID going on, and there's been guys deciding to opt out. There's a lot of talk about you being a first rounder. Was it ever in your mind like, hey, maybe just not play, not risk it this season, and just start training and get ready for the draft, or is that something you never thought of?
That's something I never really thought of. I only was thinking about this season and how I can get better from last year to this year.
And then in terms of that, obviously, offensively, you've been. I think when you first got here, you worked out at receiver, and you've been such a great pass catcher. Is it really just working on your blocking, kind of making yourself the total package that you've been working on now?
Yes, I would say that just blocking and knowing the game from the defensive side, knowing how they're going to play and how I can maneuver in certain situations.
Thanks, Kyle.
We'll go to Alan.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle. When you talk about blocking and people assume that's an attitude, right? Just being nastier and more physical. But what sort of fundamental things did you have to work on to become a better blocker? Whether it's, sealing the edge, kicking out, blocking on screens. What was sort of your off-season mission to get better blocking?
Just to get heavier and hands inside, like stepping on my insteps, not being on my balls of my feet. It's just things like that. The small details of my hand placement and hat placement is something that helps at the line of scrimmage.
All right, we'll go to Zach Goodell and then David Waters.
Hey, Kyle. Obviously, with the offense losing a lot of guys entering this year, the 4 receivers and Michael going off to the NFL, have there been any guys that have stood out to you early throughout camp, whether it be at receiver or the tight ends behind you? I know Mullen said that you actually didn't play in the scrimmage, so maybe in your role during the scrimmage?
I would say Xavier Henderson. He's a young receiver, CJ's younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's been showing a whole lot of talent in him and Trent Whitmore, all those guys, all those receivers, and Jacob Copeland, all those guys who just been ready for their turn. So this year, I think they'll be able to showcase their talent.
And what have you seen from Keon behind you, Zipper?
Keon's young and up and coming, but he's ready. I feel like this year will be the year that his name will be heard.
In which case, how so? I mean, how can the offense get creative with a guy like you and a guy like him? You guys have, different sizes, maybe some different skill sets, but perhaps in a way to get you guys both on the field and create mismatches.
I think Coach Miller does a great job with that. I wouldn't say I necessarily have the answer to that, but he finds a way for everyone to, be put in a spot where you can succeed.
Thank you.
David?
What have you seen from Kyle Trask and Emory Jones so far in camp and working with those guys in the offseason as well?
I would say the same as how not the same, but this year is just like another level of competition. Every day, those guys are making great throws and just being great quarterbacks. The competition between those two is very, I would say, kind of tight, but both of them are competitors, and any given day, both of them can go out and win a game.
And we'll go to Cassidy and then Edgar.
Hey, Kyle. I know you said that the focus was this season, so you're not considered opting out, but obviously the NFL is not far away. Looking at the big deals that guys like Kittle and Kelsey got this year, does that make you think at all like, hey, these are some things I can work on or things that they do that I can do this season to help improve my draft stock?
Definitely. I watch those guys a lot. Those are guys I sit up in the office and watch with the coaches and try and critique their game and add certain pieces that they do in the game to add to my game, because I see we kind of do a lot of things similar, but those guys are obviously, they've been in the league and they know how to do certain things, but seeing those contracts really just opened my eyes, because years ago, tight ends weren't getting those type of contracts. So now that they're changing the game, it's really interesting.
What are some of the things specifically maybe that they do that you're taking notes on or trying to emulate?
Being a student of the game, they know like in certain coverages to do certain things in the run game, and like they put their face on people, and then like they just every ball that's thrown to them, they catch it.
Thanks, Kyle.
Oh.
Did you say me, Rick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're hard to hear, at least that time. Yeah, Kyle, thanks for coming in. So you said this is in March when we talked to you, right before all this stuff happened. You were saying this is Kyle's team and just, how he's just taken such a leadership role. We're 6 months almost later. I mean, has he taken it to an even higher level? And where do you see him just in terms of his confidence compared with the guy you knew a year ago?
I think he has taken it to another level, and it's just him running everything. Him being the guy that's the first to meetings and first out, like to call things up, and make sure the offense is right, and just making sure that everything around him is correct.
Mm-hmm. Is he more vocal? I mean, we've seen him not only being vocal and being vocal about some of the social issues and things. And last March, he talked about you guys being a college football playoff team. I mean, is that stuff that would have surprised you coming from Kyle Trask a year ago?
No, I would say that's the same Kyle with the same goal.
Okay.
And we're all trying to reach that goal. So we just have to put in the work to achieve it.
Thanks.
Comments? Colton?
Yeah, Kyle. I was wondering what kind of strides have you seen from the offensive line? I know they were obviously a young group last year, but it sounds like those guys with a little more experience are maybe starting to put things together.
I'll say they're making tremendous strides because now they have chemistry, I would say. So things look a little more in sync from last year, and I feel like we're better up front.
All right, we'll finish up with Alan.
Kyle, you had the big game against in Baton Rouge last year, and several along the way. Did you notice, or what did you notice about defenses, how they were treating you differently as you got deeper into the season? Was there more bracket coverage? Was there more nimble DBs versus linebackers, or what did you notice about the way they focused on you?
I would say teams started to bracket me and we'll put a safety over top. It was kind of tough at first, but I learned you just gotta run the concept and the ball can still come your way.